Hey, my enchanted peeps. I'm back today with Tarot Tuesday. Yay! Please excuse me. I just finished doing my little workout, running on the treadmill, so I'm a little all sweaty and stuff. But I thought I would just do a quick video and do the tarot questions, the 31 Days of Tarot, which has been brought to us by the lovely Ethany. Thank you again so much for this. I've been so enjoying watching everyone's videos. It's been so great. So I'm going to do questions 21 through 26, and I hope I memorized them all. So. Question 21 was, how do you feel when you read tarot? Now, when I'm reading tarot, especially for someone else, I feel like I'm kind of in this weird zone. Sort of like, when I'm painting or doing something creative, where time sort of disappears a little bit, and I'm just sort of focused on this goal, or not goal, but focused on the moment and what I'm doing. So I do feel very much like in this sort of weird zone. And I definitely feel really good. But also after I've been doing a few, like if I read for a few people in a row, sometimes I feel somewhat drained, and not in a bad way. Like I don't feel like, oh my God, I'm so exhausted, but just like this, I've been in focused, and then it's like, sort of like this deep breath. So I feel like sometimes like I've come up for air after being underwater. And so in a weird way, like I've been in this weird zone. So that's how I feel when I read tarot, but it's definitely a good thing and something I really like, and I really enjoy helping people and making them feel good, and so it's a wonderful thing. So I do enjoy that. Question number 27 was, question 22 was, do you charge for readings? I do, like professionally, when I read at a local shop here on Sundays, so definitely charge for that. Also, people do sometimes come see me at home or purchase them online. So professionally, yes, I do charge. Sometimes I've had friends kind of trade me something for a reading, which is really great. I do read for my partner, of course, for free, and if a friend needs like a quick one card, I might not charge them or anything, but, if they want like a full reading, then they have to come see me. But generally for for family and for like really close friends, then no, I don't, because, they're just, especially for like a quick little one with friends and stuff, that's totally fine. But, you kind of have to, it's weird when you become professional, you do sort of have to draw like this boundary, because before, when I was like just reading for like big full readings for friends for free, I had to kind of draw that boundary of, now I'm doing them professionally. And so if people wanted like a big full reading, like a yearly reading or something, they'd come see me. But most of my friends were really good about it. In fact, I do have a couple friends who really are like, I want to support you, and, I'm coming to you for my yearly reading or whatever it is, which was really, really awesome. So I definitely feel very blessed that I've had, really good friends for that, which is awesome. What was the other one? Oh, question number 23 was, okay, remember that one. Yeah, see. Well, what questions do you get asked the most? That's it. Questions, and what questions do you ask the most? When I do reading for myself, I'll do just like a very general. I'll say like, okay, like what do I need to know right now, or what do I need to know for this coming month? And I'll do kind of like a general one. If there's something going on, I will ask about that specifically. Or like if a friend comes to me with something very specific. But when I'm reading like for professionally, what usually happens is people come to me and I say, oh, did you come about something specific, or did you want to just know more generally? And usually people say they just want a general kind of reading. They want to know what's coming up for them soon. And then as we get into it, more specific kind of things come up. And I find that I do get a lot of career type questions and job type questions coming up, at least lately for me. There's been a lot of that. Romance comes up too, but I find it's more like career and what should I do next that come up the most for me anyway when I'm reading for others. The next question is, do you think the tarot, your readings are accurate? How accurate do you think the tarot is? I think that the tarot is very accurate, and I always tell people that when I read for them that there's destiny is in their hands. The tarot shows you the path that you're walking down right now, but if you don't like it, you can change it. It shows you if you keep going this way, this is where you're going. Now, I do believe that there are some events in our life that are fated to us, but there's so much that we do have control over, and even if something was fated, how you react to it and the choices you make because of it are completely up to you. So, you can always change the outcome of things. So that being said, I still do find them to be very accurate. I might look at something, a card, and misinterpret it at times, but I don't think the card itself is wrong. It's always trying to point to something. So it's up to us to listen to our intuition, to, you know, as a reader, to tell the other person where it's going. Now, I've been told I'm like very accurate. I hope so. I know for myself, like, I'll write stuff down and then I'll look at it later and be like, oh, that's what that was. But I know people have told me, but often the funny thing is for me, I'll read for someone and then I don't really remember what I've said to them. So if somebody comes to me a month later and says, oh yeah, you were so right about this and this, okay. Because I believe that the message is for them. It's not for me. I'm just the vehicle to give them the message. So like the card, you know, I'm the person interpreting the cards, but it's the universe that's delivering the message, and you know, universe, God, spirits, whatever you want to say. But the message is for them. So I don't remember really what the message was often. But I've been told I'm accurate, so I'm very pleased with that. But you know, it's one of those things where you have to kind of listen to your intuition to know what the message is that you know, is for this person, or what it's trying to tell you if you're reading for yourself, obviously. The next question is, what is the most like meaningful reading that you've done? I would say the most meaningful is, I can't really pinpoint one single one, but I have had the odd time where somebody comes to me and then I say something and they cry, and often I'll say something that I totally don't think is going to make the person upset, and then they'll be upset because and not in a bad way, but because they were holding something in and they didn't admit it, or nobody noticed that about them, and then somebody like said it, like came out in the cards, and they're like, oh my God, that's exactly what's going on. And it's like this relief of like, you know, finally acknowledging that this thing is happening, or you know, that there's this problem that they're dealing with. And you know, it's always like a very personal you know, kind of thing, and I'm honored to be able to help the person and to help them see the situation and, you know, look at possible solutions or options as far as what they can do. So I'm always really honored by that it can help people to make some changes that are pretty important to them. So those things are pretty meaningful. I wouldn't ever, you know, go into specifics, but I can think of, you know, at least a couple of situations where, you know, it helps someone in a big way, and that, you know, that's a big honor, really. The next question was, number 26, is any reading regrets? You know, I thought about this. Obviously, I have no regrets reading Tarot. I think it's wonderful and I love it. I remember, though, if I think of anything, it's years and years ago, like when I was first reading in my 20s, and I wasn't like reading professionally. Like I said, I was just, you know, reading for friends and learning and everything. A friend of mine came to me, and she had a pretty big life decision, and she wanted a reading. But the problem was that all these people like that knew her were standing around while she was getting this reading. And I wish I had taken her aside and said, oh, well, let's do this in private, because there were people involved in the situation standing all around her. And when I pulled out the cards, I could see that she was very unhappy, and that she didn't want to go through this, and that she felt very pressured. But I didn't really know how to say it to her, especially with all these people around watching this reading going on. And so I had to be like, I still kind of said it to her, but I had to kind of like, I felt like I needed to be diplomatic and kind of tone it down a bit. And I really wish I had just taken her aside and said, like, you know, like, oh, let's go do this reading in a room by, you know, yourself. And then, you know, told her what it said. I mean, she may not have changed her mind or done anything different, and she may not listen to me, and she might even been mad or whatever. I don't know what would have happened. But if I think of anything, I do think of that, and how I prefer reading for people privately, because you never know what's going to come up in the cards. And sometimes there's things people don't want other people to know, or they don't want to talk about. Because there are some times where people go, oh yeah, it's okay if people are around stuff. But I do prefer doing them privately, because I think that sometimes it is a very private thing. And so that was kind of like an interesting lesson. And like I said, that happened like 20 years ago or whatever, but you know, it's, if I think about anything, I would say that one. So anyway, I look forward to seeing everybody's videos with all these answers and things. This is such a wonderful exercise. I am very glad that Ethne decided to do this. Very thought-provoking questions, and I hope everyone has a wonderful day and a wonderful week, and awesome. All right, I'll see you later. Bye.